Yes, indeed. Right. All right, Shalom, Yasharal. I'm giving infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and other bishops, great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashak Yahweh Shai, putting his beloved doctrine across the four winds in this final hour. Shalom, and we are most definitely in the final hour. This is it. All right. I had a sit down. I'm gonna infuse both of these sit downs, and well, it's not necessarily two sit downs. I just seen this breaking news come down my feed, so I'm incorporating it into the sit down that I already had put together, and I'm gonna let this clip play. All right, America is officially in this Iranian Israeli conflict. Okay, and I'm gonna bring this scripture out. Hey, our salvation is nigh. All right. We're closer than our salvation than we've ever been. All of these prophecies are jumping off the book, and we're seeing it in real time now. Okay. All of these things that was prophesied by the prophets, all right, the apostles, all right, our great king, they're jumping off the book. World War III, the third woe coming quickly, is here. It's basically here. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord. All right. This is the Lord's purpose, man, to gather all the nations together for Armageddon. Armageddon, okay? Bring them the valley of decision. All right. The valley of judgment that he have taken against Babylon. All right. And we read Revelation the 17th chapter. America is mystery Babylon. And his purpose, this is the Lord's purpose. This is, and what it is written in another place. We have the mind of Yahweh Shai. All right, we are men after the Lord's own heart, like King David, the house of Dawadah, Bayat Dawadah. All right, the Lord's purpose is our purpose. Don't we love them? Don't we hate them that hate thee, O Lord? So whatever his purpose is, that's our purpose, okay? That he have purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. America is the modern day Chaldeans. And the Lord's purpose is to turn this bitch into a lake of fire, okay? Nuclear fire, have a nuclear holocaust in this motherfucker. Surely the least of the flock shall drive them out, all right? So the least, the Amalek, that tribe in Edom, all right? The Lord say he's gonna, and then when you're looking over there in Israel, they like the smallest of the heathen, okay? The Lord have made them small amongst the heathen, and they're the smallest of the nation of Edom, that tribe, okay? And what are they doing? They bought all of these EU, European Union, because America is a part of the EU and NATO, and America into this conflict. What to do? What? Start off World War III. All right. They bought them out there, man. It's fulfilled. Prophecy fulfilled. Surely the least of the flock should draw them out. Surely he will make their habitation desolate with them. All right. So we're at the beginning of the end of seeing America nuked in this third world war. All right. So I'm gonna let a little of this clip play and funnel it through the scriptures. All right, these beautiful times
of glee over it, but yeah, I think it has gone better than
Salakia. Fair use. This clip from Sky News is not used for monetary gain. All right, it's for educational purposes only.
They ever hoped it would do, and now Benjamin Netanyahu has successfully brought the U.S. president into it. He is tied.
He say Netanyahu, Salakia, if I pronounce that devil's name wrong, he said he successfully brought the American president into this conflict. What did we just read? Surely the least of the flock, Amalek, all right, aka these Israelis, all right, shall draw them out, okay? He's drawn Trump and America out. He's brought them out into the open, okay? It's fulfilled. That's what that devil just said, man. Okay? There's more.
The US now to this war. in whichever direction it goes next. I don't think it will be an if and how Iran responds. I think it'll be a when and how, and it will all depend.
He say he don't understand how it's going to be a if and how, but a when and how. All right, how is Iran? All right, we see what they're doing to America. Mean to Salaki, to Israel. They bombing the shit out of them. I'm talking about they fucking them Israelis up. The reason America has jumped into it because Iran was beating the shit out of them. These Israeli news stations are lying about the damage that they're taking, man. They over there getting bust up. Okay, that missile defense system is a piece of shit. That Iron Dome shit is all a fallacy and it's just bigged up by mainstream media. It's not. It has no effect. America, Iran hasn't even used its highly technological advanced missiles. That's old missiles that they've been stockpiling. That's tearing Iran up. Okay. Now they've used a few of them, just testing them out of those hypersonic missiles. But for the most part, they're just using those regular ballistic missiles, man. Okay. And they was over there getting their asses handed to them. They needed America after 2 days and 3 days of going with their move. Dropping bombs on Iran, they were begging for America to come help, man. Okay, they weak compared to Iran's military.
And on the consequences of that, if they target some bases in northern Iraq, for example, and Syria.
All right, and America and Iran is going to do more than target bases over there in the Middle East, talking about going to war. No, you hitting the home. You hitting our home front, motherfucker. You hit our nation. Iran is going to do something over here in the mainland in America. Okay, let me get this precept. All right, let's get something to bag it up. Iran is going to strike back over here. It ain't going to be about them hitting the garrisons over there across seas. Now this is World War III. It's about to get nasty, man. Okay, this is Isaiah 47. I'm gonna go straight to the point. All right. Here we go. Come down, Isaiah 47 from the top. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So this lets you know this is not talking about ancient Babylon. All right. Ancient Babylon was conquered, all right, by the Medes. They came in and conquered them in one night. So when it say virgin daughter of Babylon, what's a virgin? A virgin has been unspotted. She hasn't been touched. So America hasn't been touched by outside entities. Okay. No other nation has ever came, and because even when you look over there, what happened in Pearl Harbor, that didn't happen on the mainland. Babylon has never been struck on the mainland. Okay. So the Lord said, come and sit down in the dust. The dust represents confusion. Confusion is about to come to this place. Oh, virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. All right. Sitting on the ground represents you about to get dealt with treacherously. Okay. Because what? Where's America? America's in the heavens. She's in heaven. All right. She sits tender and delicately over the nations and presiding over the nations. But the Lord say, oh no, bitch, I'm gonna bring you down to the ground. You think you're gonna rebuild, but I'm gonna bring you down to the ground. Hell is meeting you at your coming. You stinking, funky whore. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You're no more going to be a virgin. You're no more going to be tender and delicate. So when Iran strike, Iran going to do something. It's been said over the years, ever since I came in the ministry, that Iran has sleeper cells all over here. Now I'm going to tell you this. I know Iranian professors on LSU campus. I was cool. Me and my biological brother was cool with a cat. The nigga act like a Jake, but his father was an Iranian. His father was a so-called Iranian, Persian. All right. So you have thousands of Persians over here in America on these university campuses, man. All right. They're just blending in. Okay. All right. You have thousands of Iranians here. And when that guy Ahmadinejad was in power, he clearly said, look, we have sleeper cells all throughout America. If America play with us, we're going to activate them. So when this guy over here is talking about when and how they're going to respond, and he's talking about they're going to hit the garrisons, all of those bases that they have all around America, man, that's not hurting them. Nigga, they hit your home front. They're going to want to hit the home front. Those little bases, yeah, they're gonna probably shoot at those bases. Don't get it twisted. They're gonna shoot at those bases, but they're gonna want to hit the home front. This is World War III. Home fronts are gonna be hit, and America is not gonna be tender and delicate. Outside entities is gonna pop her cherry. All right, outside entities are gonna pop her cherry. This is the war where America starts to get hit by other nations. All right, and it's gonna be our first time.
And there's no casualties, then I think maybe it would be a moment for everybody to move on. But if they widen it to countries in the Middle East, bring them in as well, if they kill US service personnel, there are a number of different ways where this could spill out into something really very, very dangerous.
Nigga, this is about to spin out into World War III. All right, this is how dangerous it's going to be. You dumb Edomite dog. All right, we had a playbook. We got the playbook, blow by blow. All right, this is what the Lord say. Spin out of control is an understatement. All right, it's gonna go overboard, nigga. This is Matthew 24 and 21. All right, I want 22. All right, and except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. This war gonna be so bad. If the Lord didn't intervene, no flesh would be saved. All right, this ain't no nuclear war. This is a nuclear holocaust. And there's no winners in nuclear holocaust. All right? Spin out of control is an understatement. All right? This war here would exterminate all of humanity if Yahweh Shema Shai didn't intervene. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. For the elect's sake, flesh will be saved, man. Yes, this is gonna spin all the way out of control, above what these generals and these military men, these admirals. All right, when they go to war, they always do analytics about how many people and casualties they're gonna take. All right, it's gonna spin so out of control. It's gonna go way past World War II. Where 70-some million people perished. The body count is going to go into the billions. You got 8 billion people on Earth. All right, the body total is going to go into the billions, man. And this is the beginning. This is what the end looks like.
But I certainly think the tone from the US president is enough. The Iranians will be key. But I think Donald Trump, now that he's done what the Israelis have wanted him to do, I think he now certainly has the clout whereby if he wants to rein the Israelis in, he can do. So we will see what the daylight hours bring. Interestingly, no response from the Iranians here tonight yet.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to.
And it's going to be unprecedented, you know? Like when Americans go bomb Syria, there's nobody serious too weak to fight back. They go bomb Libya. Libya never strikes back. They go take down Iraq. Iraq never strikes back. All right. But this time, Iran, something's going to come out of this. America's going to get hit back this time. Because when America went in our Baghdad, you was on their front. You was in Fallujah. Them little motherfuckers didn't have no sleeper cells over here. You know, you was picking on the weak. This time, Iranian is they have a little power. There's no way you can compare them to the American military, but they have two allies that's going to back them this time. All right, they're going to fight and they're going to strike back, just like they struck back at Israel. All right, American lives are about to get lost, and we're not talking about military men across seas. We're talking about military. We're talking about civilians on the home front. Something about to happen bad, unprecedented. Thus saith the Bible. Okay? Let's see what this guy has to say. He is a little bit more.
Wait and see, as you say, how things evolve over the coming hours. But I just want to bring in my next guest, Jason Brodsky, who's the policy director at the United Against Nuclear Iran. Jason, thank you very much for joining us.
And this is another thing, United Against Nuclear Iran. Man, shut the fuck up. What makes America, Israel, what gives them the audacity to tell another nation they can't have nuclear arms when everybody else has nuclear arms? And that's why the Lord calls America the hammer of the earth. Okay, in the book of Jeremiah. The audacity of you to tell this first world nation, because Iran is a first world nation. It's not a third world nation. Tell this first world nation who minds their business that they can't have nuclear weapons, but everyone else can. Pakistan, all these other countries have it. The Netherlands, all right, have nuclear arsenals, but we can't have them. All right, that's the audacity, and that's why if you can't say who the devil, if you don't know who the devil the Bible speak of, look who tells and controls tells nations what they can do and what they can't do. All right, that's who put these laws. The EU, NATO. All right, they go to these summits. All right, and they make these decisions on who can do what they want, who can do this and who can do that. All right, the earth is given in the hand of the wicked. That lets you know who the wicked is, man. The audacity of them to tell them they can't have a nuclear arms program. But we know, according to scriptures, Iran has nuclear arms. Let's prove it. Okay, we're going to prove that they have it. All right, Iran is just playing possum when they say we don't have any missiles. They have missiles. They have a nuclear weapon. It's probably not nowhere deep as America's, but they have them because it's in the scripture. We're going to prove it. All right, this is Ezekiel. All right, they fighting it like when they say they went in to Baghdad, they went into Iraq because they had weapons of mass destruction. They really didn't have them. All right, they just wanted to go in there and deal with them because they wouldn't deal with those Rockefeller those banks that the elites have. Okay, they didn't want to deal with those banks, so they had to make an excuse to go in. Iran really do have weapons of mass destruction because the Bible says they do. All right, this is I'm going to go straight to the point. All right, this is Ezekiel 38:4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws. And that's what the Lord has done with communist Russia. They put them in that Mikhail Gorbachev spirit when they had the missiles pointed over here in America, had their nukes pointed at America. Okay, they back in that spirit now, where they ready to nuke America. All right, for about 20, 30 years, it was a little silence between them. Now that Putin have put it back in their spirit, well, it's DTA. Let's nuke these Americans. All right, they're trying to force democracy on us. We are communists. You will not come over here and dictate how we rule our nation. All right. And if you want to do that, let's do it. Let's have a nuclear war. All right. The Lord has put them in that spirit. And I will bring thee forth all thine army, horsemen, all them clothed with sorts of armor. All right. Now, this talking about nations, a confederate of nations. All right. With nuclear arsenals. All right. Because World War III will be nuclear. So these army horsemen. All right, you got to put on your spiritual binoculars to understand. It's talking about modern day militaries. Okay, a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And what sword are they handling? They're handling these intercontinental ballistic nuclear missiles. Okay, that's what World War III is going to be all about. Persia. All right, Persia. Modern name is Iran. Okay. All right, and they say that they have what? Swords, shields, and bucklers. So they have the weaponry to be in this World War III. Okay, Ethiopia, Libya, all with them, and all these countries, these Hamitic countries. All right, what do? They back each other financially. Okay, they make pacts together and they back each other financially. All of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, and his bands, House of Tagamor. In the North Quarters, and this is gonna let you know that Turkey is gonna leave the NATO, and they're gonna join hand in hand with Russia. Okay, they're gonna leave Turkey. This scripture proves to you that Turkey is gonna leave Russia, leave the NATO and join hand in hand with Russia. Okay, and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared. So if you're getting prepared for war, what do you have to have? You have to have the same type of arsenal that your enemies have. All right. The one with the best arsenal wins the war. All right. So are you going to come to a nuclear war and you don't have nukes? No. Shit, no. And prepare for thyself, and thou, and all thy company. This is the Lord talking to Russia. And he said, all thy company goes into their allies that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. So how is Russia going to be a guard to North Korea, Iran, Turkey, all these nations? Turkey have their nukes already. They got their nukes that they ain't give back to America. They got like 50 nuclear bombs, okay? So how can Russia be a guard to Iran? By giving them uranium, all right, plutonium, all of those things that they need to do what? Make nuclear missiles. And they've been doing that for decades, okay? So for them to be a guard unto them, you have to do what? Arm them. That's how we can say with confidence that Iran has nukes, man. All of this, we trying to stop their nuclear program. Nah, man, that's propaganda. They have nukes. They have them. All right? For the Bible tell us so.
Here on the program, we got news about 50 minutes or so from President Donald Trump, who put out a statement on Truth Social saying, we've completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. I just want your assessment on what you've seen develop here for us in the early hours of the morning in the region, for you quite late at night.
Well, it's great to be with you. I think we're witnessing a historic decision by President Trump. Every American president since Bill Clinton has pledged to the American people and our allies that Iran will never be allowed to acquire a nuclear weapon. But President Trump is the only one who authorized military strikes to prevent that. And this is a very consequential decision. It will reshape America's.
This is what Trump just did. He's saying it's all monumental. He's goddamn right it's monumental. This is what Trump just did. Because Russia is quoted saying that an attack on Iran, this was some years ago, would be an act of war, because Russia has a lot of stock interest in Iran. So it's a matter of time for the Russians just come in full-fledged. And the Russians can't get around prophecy. They can't get around Ezekiel 38, what I just read. The Lord told Russia to be a guard to Persia. All right, so just like the least of the flock drew America in it, Ezekiel 38, Russia has to do what the Lord tells them to do. God has to be a guard to Iran, to Persia. All right. So when America vexes Persia, this is what they're doing to Russia. All right. Because Russia told you, don't fuck with them. This is Isaiah 32, 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them. You see, you're stirring up the Medes. The Medes telling you to stay out of their business. Stay out of our business over here in the Ukraine. You're all in our fucking business. The Medes is telling you, leave the Iranians alone. You fucking with the Iranians. So you're stirring it up. All right. You're kicking up a tumult, which shall not regard silver. Saying when Russia go in, it ain't going to be no more diplomatic talk, no more meetings. All right. No more peace talks. When Russia makes that decision to go in, it's over. All right. It's going to be like, let's destroy America off the map, which shall not regard silver. And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So if you can't pay them off, that means you're definitely not going to be able to have peace talks with them. Okay, their bows also shall dash the young men into pieces. They shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes shall not spare children. All right, they're going to nuke this place and kill everybody on this continent with the exception of the elect men of Yasharala. Okay, so what they saying Donald Trump has made a monumental decision, you fucking right. The deceived and the deceiver of Yahweh Bashim Shais, and the Lord has put the spirit on Donald Trump to bring in America's timely demise. All right. So what this devil said is correct. It's monumental, being that America is no longer going to be tender and delicate. We about to see some explosions in America in the coming days, man.
regional posture. It will reset our deterrence equation in the region. And I think that it has very significant implications for U.S., how the U.S. is viewed in the world as well.
One of the things that Donald Trump said in his statement is that now is the time for peace. He's hoping that this will be the moment where, this back and forth, the tit-for-tat attacks that we've been seeing between Israel and Iran.
There will be no peace. There will be no peace until our great king come back. This is when there will be peace. Let me get that precept first, and then I got another one I want to get. This is Genesis 49. And what a precept about Judah. All right, Genesis 49 and 8. Judah art Judah, thou art he whom thy brothers shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. And the bulk of the tribe of Judah are over here in America. The neck of our enemies, the land of the valley of shadow of death. All right, you so-called Negroes, you're the tribe of Judah. All right, we're in the neck of our enemies, our colonizers, our oppressors. Okay, thy father's children shall bow down before thee, because the Lord raised up the children, the sons of Judah first, to bring out this doctrine. Okay, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art going up. He stoopeth down, he crouches as a lion. As an old lion, who shall rouse him up? And Judah is getting lit in this fine hour. All right, these devils, killing Jake with cold blood, getting off with it. Judah is going to eventually rebel. Okay, now this is the part I wanted right here. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, no a Lord giver from between his feet until Shiloh come. That's Yahushua. All right, ain't gonna be no peace until Yahushua come. Unto him shall the gathering of the people be. He's going to come and put things in order. Donald Trump talking about this is going to bring peace. All right. Nah. Yahushua, when he come with his garments dipped in blood, coming to Bozrah, he's the one that's going to bring peace to the earth when he subdues all the kings of the earth. Binding his foal unto the choice vine and his ass coat unto the choice vine. He washeth his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. All right, you see, when our great king come to planet earth, that's when we will have peace. All right, and subdue the kings of the earth. So what Donald Trump talking about is bullshit. It's about nothing but great death. Let me get that. This is Revelation. This is what Donald Trump is ushering in. Okay, ain't no peace. Oh yeah, I want to get this one too. I want to get that peace and safety. All right. The Lord gonna give you the illusions that you're gonna get peace and safety. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, all right. So they think because they shooting arrows at the other nations and bombing them, they think peace is gonna come in the Middle East. No, that's not gonna happen. Okay. Then sudden destruction shall come upon them, as you travail upon a child, and they shall not escape. There will be no peace in the Middle East until our great king come, and there will be no peace over here in America until our great king come. All right, America is going to be annihilated. All right, it's going to be a forbidden zone, but there will be no peace on planet Earth until our Lord come back. Okay, this Donald Trump is doing the complete opposite. America is doing the complete opposite of bringing peace. This is what they're doing. They fulfilling prophecy, my man. They fulfilling prophecy. This is what them niggas doing. All right. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 3. And when he had opened the second seal, all right, that second seal is opening, man. I heard the second beast say, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red. All right. Red represents these red-skinned Idumeans. All right. When you read Genesis, the 25th chapter, all right, that first son came out red like a hairy garment. All right, that was a nation of people, Esau. All right, non-melanated devils, these so-called white people. All right, that's what that red represent. All right, this great red dragon, the Roman Empire, America is Rome revised. All right, these Idumeans. Okay, and power was given to them that set their own to take peace from the earth. You see? That ain't that you going to bomb people ain't gonna bring peace. The so-called white man is the only one that think like that. You going to bomb nations and just wipe out their cities, and you think you're gonna have peace. All right, this twisted, demented devil thinks that's gonna bring forth peace. All right, nah, that's gonna bring forth war on your ass, and they should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword, that glittering spear, that nuclear missile. All right, so all he's doing is ushering in a nuclear holocaust. Okay, that's all he's doing. In fact, let me get this other clip I had. I wanted to bring this one out, but that breaking news. This is what I was really going to do to sit down on. All right, to show how the reason America is brought into this war is because you got to look at these alternative news stations. America, when you look at American mainstream news and Israeli mainstream news, they tell you that the damage over there in Israel is subpar, is small, and it's not. All right, Iran was over there turning that bitch into a wasteland, man. I'm gonna let this clip play, and this is why they needed America to come right away. Okay, this guy here, he's about to give you some good information.
This one has been widely viewed, this particular video, but it, just in case you haven't seen it, it certainly bears showing, merits another view. This is an Israeli air defense system turning on itself.
All right, this is a clip. Iran was raining down so many fucking missiles. The Israeli defense system started turning on itself, because when you see how it worked, they shoot the missiles up in the sky, but when the missiles were seeing each other, all right, they start attacking each other. All right, and that's the Lord doing that. That same thing happened during the time of Gideon, where the Lord had the Edomites and the you know what? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna get that account in the book of Judges.
Barrage, as a new method of attack, claimed the strike not only breached Israeli airspace, but also revealed critical vulnerabilities in Israel's multi-layered defense systems. According to the IRGC, as reported by Reuters, the tactic caused Israeli interceptors, including the Iron Dome, to mistakenly target one another.
Now, what you see there, reportedly, are missiles going up from an Israeli air defense system. The commentator here from Times Now World refers to it as the Iron Dome. I suspect that this is a Patriot missile system, which has been rebranded as an Israeli air defense system. But whatever it is, watch what happens to these missiles that have been launched by this Israeli air defense system.
Allowing Iranian missiles to bypass defenses and strike high-value assets. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, have not responded to the claims or the overnight assault.
So what appears to have happened there, you can see the flames in the distance. That's where the air defense missiles struck. It was a huge explosion, and a consensus amongst commentators seems to be that what that air defense system did, the one that launched the missiles, was it attacked another Israeli air defense system, which would explain why the explosion upon impact was so violent. And in fact, as there were secondary explosions, I believe, suggesting that it was in fact some other, it was at least at a bare minimum, there were munitions there where those missiles landed. One military expert on social media, I believe it was Will Schreier, speculated that what happened was that the Iranians somehow managed to hack into the air defense system that launched those two missiles. He wasn't able to confirm this, but it was a theory that he developed, and that they actually Iranian hackers caused the Israeli air defense system to attack another one. In any event,
all right. Whatever. And look, everything written aforetime was written for our learning. All right. That, be it if some geek squad Iranian scientists tapped in the Israeli computers and made them attack one another. All right, the Spirit of the Lord controls those missiles. Okay, they can say how it happened. The same thing happened during the time of Judges, during the time of Gideon. I'm gonna go straight to the point. All right, the Lord is so cold. He'll have your enemies coming to fight you, and they end up killing each other, man. All right, Lord put a spirit of darkness on their asses, and their asses will come to war against you and end up killing themselves, man. All right, this is Judges 7:12. And the Midianites and the Amalekites, you see, the Amalekites are our arch nemesis. They always came fucking with us, man. From when we left Egypt, they were there waiting on us. All right, they always been our arch nemesis until this day. Until this day. All right, they joined forces with other heathen nations to come against us. In ancient time past, they are our arch nemesis. And the Midianites and Amalekites and all the children of the east lay long in the valley like grasshoppers for multitude, and their camels were outnumbered as the sand by the seaside of the multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellow and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley and bread tumbled into the host of the Midian and came unto a tent and smote that it fell and overturned it, and they lay, and the tent lay alone. And his fellow answered and said, there's nothing else save the sword. This is nothing else except the sword of Gideon on the son of Joash, a man of Israel. For into the hand of God had delivered the Midian and all the hosts. Let me get to the point. I'm gonna get to the point. And that shows you that when brothers have these dreams, brothers, the Lord give brothers prophetic dreams to tell us certain things that are happening in this final hour. Because brothers have dreams and say, I dream. A brother just told me about a dream he had recently. All right. And I know, I believe the brother's dream. What he dreamed is going to come to pass. The brother, I hope the brother do a video on it. He say the Lord took him in a wormhole and showed him things in the past and things in the future. It was a heavy dream. I hope the brother do a sit down. I'm gonna tell that brother he need to do a sit down on that video. All right, but look, this is all right. This verse 19. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came into the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch, and they had newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and break the pitchers that were in their hands. And the three companies blew the trumpets and break the pitchers and held the lamps in their left hands and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood every man in his place around about the camp. And the host ran and cried and fled. All right. So the Lord put a spirit of confusion on them. And the 300 blew the trumpets. And the Lord said, every man swore against his fellow. So they started killing each other. The enemy's camp started killing each other, just like Israel's missile defense system turned on each other. When the Lord is with you, he'll have your enemies killing themselves, man. Okay. And when I seen that clip, it reminded me of this account where during the time of Gideon, where the enemy started killing themselves. All right. And the Lord said, every man swore against his fellow and throughout all the hosts. So they started killing each other, just like on this account, the guy say how the Israeli defense system started fighting itself, man. We're going to see all type of stuff like that happen in this final hour, all right? Things are getting to pop, and we're going to see all type of shit. And things that happened aforetime that's written for our learning, they're going to be happening again, all right? But just on a greater level.
Never happened. It doesn't suggest a high level of competence on the part of those who are operating those air defense systems, nor does it suggest a high level of efficacy on the part of the technologies themselves. So this leads me to an interview which I saw yesterday by a legitimate expert in missile technology and air defense. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. What I do want to say before we go to that interview is that it is now beyond question, in my view, that Iran can strike anything in Israel that lies on the surface and is not buried deep underground. And I suspect, given the size of the warheads on some of these hypersonic missiles, they could strike targets that are buried a significant distance below the surface.
And they're doing it. A lot of those arrows are meeting their mark. Now I've seen videos, but it's always Western media showing that the defense system, the Iron Dome, blocking a lot of those missiles. But the vast majority, when you get the news from Iran side, all right, and these Middle Eastern countries, news stations, a lot of those missiles are meeting the mark. All right, they causing damage in that bitch. But Western media gonna put it like they are the damage is minimal. The life is not that many people dying. All that is cap. It's full of lies, man. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. And if you look at mainstream media and believe everything that you see, you are not in the truth. You got to have the spirit of truth upon you so you can know decipher between truth and lies, man. All right. That's why you got to pray for the Lord to give you his Holy Spirit.
But again, I don't have the expertise to comment upon that. As I've said many times, I'm not a military expert. I'm not an expert in missile technologies. And so that's why I'm going to share with you this expert of someone who is a world-class expert in both of those subjects, military missile technologies and air defense. And you will have heard of him, many of you. His name is Theodore Postel. He's a professor emeritus from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He's worked extensively with the U.S. military. As an aside, Professor Postel, he talked about this recently, is of Jewish origin, and he has been an outspoken critic of Israel's genocidal regime. He's really condemned it in powerful and eloquent language.
And this dude here is an American, man. All right, he's an Edomite. So Psalm 64, that's another prophecy fulfilled. Their tongues are falling on each other. They're exposing one another. He's exposing his own countrymen. All right, the people of his own nation, because at the end of the day, they all Edomites. So you see, a kingdom divided can't stand. He's exposing these Israelis, and like he says, their genocidal, antics that they commit throughout planet Earth.
In the recent months, the excerpt of the interview I'm going to show you took place on the Deep Dive. It's a program with retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, who does excellent reporting from a military perspective on what's happening in West Asia and on the Ukraine war. This interview of Theodore Postel was published yesterday, and here's some of what Professor Postel had to say.
Can do. I guess it's really going to come down to who has the bigger arsenals of attack missiles. Maybe not even so much.
Who could take more punishment?
Yeah, because and that's just something we don't know.
I just want to pause there. So that was a very important exchange. Daniel Davis begins by saying, he's quite properly observing that nobody outside of the Israeli and Iranian governments appears to know, and maybe the U.S. government, how many missiles each side has, how many air defense missiles Israel has, how many offensive missiles, how many air defense missiles Iran has, and how many air defense missiles, how many systems of air defense. That's what Daniel Davis says at the outset, and he's interrupted by Ted Postel, who says, and also their capacity to absorb the punishment. Let's watch this again.
Who has the bigger arsenals of attack missiles? Maybe not even so much.
Who could take more punishment?
Yeah.
Who could take more punishment? So imagine a scenario where both sides have roughly equivalent arsenals, but one side is able to take punishment much more than the other side. Well, it's the latter that is likely to prevail in this conflict, even though they have more or less the same amount.
And them damn Ishmaelites and Carmanians raging with wrath. All right, they built for it tough. All right, Esau is weak. All right, they are weaklings. All right, the strongest branch of Esau is those damn Russians. But outside of that, these Israelis and Americans and British, them dudes are soft. Is cotton candy, man. All right. If they ever had something where Americans had to do hand-to-hand combat of your race, all right, the so-called white man will finish last amongst all the races and nations on the earth. Okay.
of munitions. So I think Theodore Postal is quite right in pointing out it's not just a question of the size of the arsenals. It's also a question of your capacity to absorb the pain.
You know what?
And based upon history,
to the point.
Artillery rockets that were being fired from Gaza, these artillery rockets did not have tremendously large warheads, a few kilograms. And if it landed near you or went through the roof of your house and exploded and you were in a room, they'd kill you. But if you have a safe room, like the Israelis mandate by law, a place that's hardened against fragments and blast in your house, and you go into it and your house gets hit, you will almost certainly survive. You won't even be injured with a very high probability. If you're outside and you lie on the ground, unless the warhead lands extremely close to you within a few meters, you're not going to be killed. So the level of damage and havoc that was caused by these artillery rockets was not high. And when you lie to your population and you say you're intercepting 90% of them, people, it's possible to deceive some high percentage of your people. They're not technically well informed about these things. With the much higher yield warheads on the Iranian long-range ballistic missiles, these 1-ton warheads, it's a harder fiction to continue to promulgate. And I'll show you why.
So quite a bit packed into that 2-minute excerpt. So first of all, the language that he used, he called, this claim that Israel's air defenses are almost impenetrable and are effective, a myth.
It's all lies. Talking about the Iron Dome is one of the best in the planet Earth. All of that is Edomite Western propaganda. All right, most of those missiles you see are hitting their marks. They're hitting shit. That's why America had to come so fast in the conflict, because Iranian military might is stronger than Israel's. Okay, that's why the least of the flock drove them out, because they needed help. All right. So all of the Western propaganda that they're taking minimal hits is all lies. All right. Them Iranian scientists are some bad motherfuckers, man.
A couple of times used the word lies. Then he said fiction. So in another part of the interview, which you didn't see there, he assessed that the Israeli air defenses were performing poorly. That's the word that he used. As I say, there's few, if any, people in the United States, in the West, frankly, who have the level of expertise and credibility when it comes to missile defense or air defenses and missile technologies as Theodore Postal. So all this crap that you're hearing about, Israel's ability to repel missile attacks is not only belied now by a mountain of videographic evidence, but it's also being confirmed by independent leading experts in this particular field. And this will have profound implications for Israel. As Ted Postal said, it's the myth is evaporating along with the Israeli population. Well, what does he mean? He means if this little pipsqueak of a country, its deranged leadership, can no longer persuade the population that they're safe, a lot of them are going to leave. And a lot of them have done just that. And the first ones who are going to go are going to be the ones who are most mobile. And the ones who are most mobile are the ones who are most educated and who have the most lucrative employment. These are the people that Israel would need most if it's going to have any chance of recovering from the devastation of its depravity, caused by its depravity.
You see, we're looking at the fall of a nation, man. All right, he's saying that brightest minds and the ones with the most resources, they're not safe, so they're going to leave. So if he's saying, hypothetically speaking, if they was going to rebuild, you'll need those people to rebuild. Them people ain't coming back. They ain't going to come back because of prophecy's sake. All right. Amalek was the first of the nations, but he's going to be torn down, man. When you read the book of Numbers. All right. That nigga about to become wormwood, man. All right. And all of these Western lies, you know, you got to look at these alternative news stations. They're nothing more than lies, man. And that's why we knew America was about to come in this conflict real fast, and today it happened. Because, hey, the Israeli military cannot do nothing with Iran without the help of foreign entities, man.
As I say, this is, I think, the fundamental reason. I've been saying this from November of 2023. When all the dust is settled, Israel is going to lose this thing that it has referred to over decades as the demographic war. It's going to get crushed in the demographic war, and Palestine will rise from the ashes, my friends. That's my prediction. It's been my prediction from day one, and I am more convinced.
Your prediction is wrong. All right? Your prediction is wrong. You're a devil. Now, you're bringing out good information, but you got to be able to take the meat from the bones. The Lord is bringing down Israel. All right? And Palestine ain't going to be the next nation to rise up from there. They going to slavery, nigga. All right? The Lord is bringing down Amalek. Let me get that precept. Let me just go ahead and get it. Numbers. This is Numbers 24. Go straight to the point. Numbers 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, all right? And right now, Amalek is the first of the nation. These corporate bankers, that 1%, they rule planet Earth, all right? The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The Lord gave it to him. But his later end shall be that he perish forever. So when we see this war in Israel and Israel getting born, these are Israelis, Amalek getting born, we're at the end, okay? So he's never going to rise again. There will never be peace over there till our Lord bring us back over there. All right. So this devil is done. Okay. But when he's taken out of place, when the Lord take him out of place, ain't no Moabites going to come into power. All right. All right. The Lord's going to change his elect at the twinkling of an eye. And let's see what the Holy Bible has to say. No fucking Pakistanis going to be ruling, coming out no ashes like a phoenix. Their ass is going to be in the pit too. They're going to be in hardcore slavery too. This is Daniel, Allah 17, 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. How are the saints of the Most High going to take the kingdom? The Lord is going to change this elect at the twinkling of an eye. All right, we're going to be joint heirs with Yahushua, and we're going to come down here and put all these nations in fetters and chains, man. Okay, we're going to have the kingdom. We're going to have the rulership. We're going to have the dominion and possess the kingdom. You see, we're going to have world domination forever, even forever and ever. You see? So this guy don't know what he's talking about. Now, as he's talking about these ballistic missiles and the damage that's happening to America, you know, he's accurate on that. I mean, not America, Israel. All right, how these missiles are getting through, and how if the Israeli military cannot do nothing with the Persian military. He's on point, but he wrong about that one. All right, the Lord is about to raise up his elect
of it than ever. So now let's move on to some other issues related to the missile war. I've seen some, suggestions in the media that because, the initial volleys, salvos that were fired by Iran were big, reportedly 100 or more, maybe hundreds of missiles, and the more recent ones have been smaller, that somehow this means that Iran is running out of missiles. I don't purport to know how many missiles Iran has, but we heard the same shtick, in the first year of the Ukraine war. Day after day after day, we were told that the Russians were about to run out of missiles and artillery, and that they were, taking computer chips out of their washing machines in a desperate bid to, replace their depleted arsenals. I mean, here we are 3.5 years later, and Russia seems to have increased dramatically its capacity to strike targets within Ukraine by means of missiles and drones. There's certainly no indication that Russia's close to running out.
And you know what? And this is what he's proven. This is what he's telling you. Don't listen to Western media. Don't listen to mainstream media. All they do is put up certain narratives to sway the minds of the simpletons, man. All right. All that, the vast majority that modern media brings out is lies, all right, to manipulate simpletons. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to bring out that breaking news. You know, America's officially in the war. All right. And they came in the war because Iran was sticking it to Israel. They had to come in the war. They had to come. And that's prophecy fulfilled. The least of the flock has drew America into the war, man. Okay. And when America comes into the war, you know, all those NATO, EU, all right, their package, they have to protect one another. Okay. And eventually Russia and China is going to be in this thing, man. North Korea, they're going to come aid. Okay. So hey, we're at the end. It's not even the beginning of the end. We probably in the middle of the end. We're in the final hour, man. Beautiful times. So with that, I'm gonna give infinite honors to our Heavenly Father and our great King, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Hara Kakadash. Double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops, a great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Kwam Yasharala, Abba Babal, Shalom.